probably don't remember.
First of all, if I attacked Nikkita Lyons, all of you here would know that because I would have the guts to say that I actually did that.
What up, y'all? This is your boy Ace here, and welcome to Afternoon's Delight. Now, oh man, oh man, we're gonna break this one down, y'all. We're gonna break this shit down. Been wanting to make this video all week. We're gonna break it down here, but I first want to just tell y'all what happened first, and then we're gonna go into the mystery stuff. So, here's the thing. So, we had a scene. So, this was right. I'm still actually watching this match. This is the first 30 minutes of NXT, by the way. I'm still watching this match, so I don't know what happened later on in the night. But Indi Hartwell, ironically, had a match with Zoey Stark. Two participants from this year's Royal Rumble on Saturday night. Now, what was interesting here was that we had a situation in the locker room. So they played a clip from earlier today in the locker room. This is earlier today, so they taped this sometime early on Tuesday. And you saw Indi Hartwell in the dressing room or locker room with a bunch of other girls from the roster. So Ruca was the most notable one there. And then that's when Zoey Stark came. And Zoey Stark confronted Indi about, or Indi first confronted Zoey Stark about who attacked Nikkita Lyons. And Zoey Stark actually said, if I attacked Nikkita Lyons, y'all would have known about it. I wouldn't have hid that. We're gonna get back to that in a second because I thought that was a really good point from Zoey Stark. It made me start to think that it wasn't her. So Indi, now I think Zoey didn't really try to make it seem like it was Indi, but they started talking and bragging about, their stance at the Royal Rumble. Zoey was really bragging about being in the Royal Rumble for a half an hour, whereas like Indi Hartwell wasn't in there in no time. She got eliminated pretty quick. And she kind of let her know about that. Then they started thinking, hey, they got a match tonight. And so Ruca, what was interesting was, Ruca defended Indi Hartwell because she said she remembered that I think that she never lost to her or something like that. And so that played into the match there. So that was interesting that Ruca defended her, but it shows you how much respect Indi has in the locker room, right? So we gotta get to this. So I want to first talk about Zoey Stark as a suspect. So we're gonna go over a small suspect list. Okay. I got a poll out there right now that I need y'all to vote on. And it's basically just between Zoey Stark and Indi Hartwell who you think attacked Nikkita Lyons. Now, again, I haven't seen this episode tonight, so I don't know if they revealed it tonight. I don't believe they did, because usually a lot of times in these types of mysteries, usually what they like to do is they like to drag this stuff out. So I definitely don't think we know tonight who did it, but we might. Like I said, I'm still in the beginning of the episode as I record this video. You know what I'm saying? I just need to get this recording out of the way. But anyways, when Zoey Stark told Indi and the rest of the locker room that if she attacked Nikkita Lyons, she would have bragged about it. That really made me think like, you know what? Zoey Stark probably would have bragged about it. Because remember, she didn't hide it the first time she did it, right? Remember the first time she attacked her? And we know that from back then, when Nikkita attacked her the first time, you know what I'm saying? When she attacked her the first time, I don't know if y'all remember, but she attacked her like right on the entrance ramp, right? And she didn't hide it, right? Like, so I do believe Zoey when she says that. When Zoey said that, I was like, you know what? She ain't lying about that. Because I also believe that Zoey wouldn't have hid that. Like, if Zoey attacked Nikkita Lyons, she wasn't going to hide that. Now, if there was a reason for Zoey to hide it, it's this reason. Shawn Michaels, right? So let's say Shawn Michaels or anybody else who's in charge of booking the Rumble found out about Zoey Stark attacking Nikkita Lyons to get her spot at the Rumble. In my opinion, what would have probably happened was Zoey Stark would have been pulled, or she would have been considered for that spot. But we don't know whose spot it was that was taken. We don't know if it was the spot that Indi Hartwell took over, or if it was the spot that Zoey took over. Some people, I've heard people tell me that it was Indi Hartwell who took over Nikkita's spot. I'm not sure. I don't know if they read something, but I'm going to just say this. I don't know who it was, but it's interesting, though. Whoever it might be. Either way, that is a very, very interesting situation, right? Now, for me, I looked at it like this. So, if it's before the Rumble, then I can see Zoey maybe keeping it a secret, right? But remember, it's after the Rumble now. Tuesday is 3 days after the damn Rumble. Zoey had no reason to still hide it, right? She could have revealed it. The discipline ain't going to matter, even if she got disciplined at this point for Shawn Michaels. It's not going to matter just based on the fact that the Rumble has already happened. He can't take that experience away from Zoey Stark. It's already happened. You know what I mean? She's had her moment in the Rumble. You can't take that away. She probably don't care at this point. Which is what's leading me to believe that Zoey didn't do this. Because, like I said, she would have bragged about it. And I really do believe the whole locker room would have known that she did it. Now, what's crazy is that on the flip side, when we look at Indi Hartwell, she's developed a reputation as a babyface, as a good person in the locker room. We can see that the rest of the locker room respects her. This is why Tiffany Stratton and her had that beef a couple of weeks back and had the match last week, because Indi Hartwell was kind of the one that kind of shoved Tiffany Stratton out of the dressing room, because Tiffany Stratton thought she could have like special person stuff. It's just like Chelsea Green last night on Raw. Even though she just came back, Tiffany Stratton, and both of them really just came back. And so Indi was kind of, in that position where she has the respect of the locker room, and she might have the trust of the locker room, right? So nobody would have suspected that she'd be the one to injure Nikkita Lyons. Now, my whole thing has been with this. I really believe Nikkita Lyons never saw her attack her, because if it was Indi Hartwell, she wouldn't allow her to just help her right there. You know what I'm saying? Because she would have, I really believe that this was a blindside attack that Nikkita Lyons never saw her attack her. So, which is why Indi Hartwell could really still be a suspect. Now, remember, in the same scenario with Shawn Michaels wouldn't have had put Indi Hartwell in that match if it was discovered that Indi, before the Royal Rumble, was the one that had attacked Nikkita Lyons to get her spot at the Rumble. Now, what's different from her and Zoey Stark is that Indi has to uphold her reputation, so she's not going to brag about attacking Nikkita Lyons after the Rumble, right? Because she has something on the line, and that's her reputation. Zoey doesn't give a damn about the reputation. It sounds like she doesn't have too much respect for the women's locker room, and she don't give a fuck about that. So, but like I said, Indi has a lot to lose. And we could tell that Indi has that respect based on when Ruca stood up for her when they was talking about, their match history and stuff like that. And, because they were also bragging about who lasted longer at the Rumble. And then Ruca defended Indi in front of Zoey Stark. So that really shows you right there how much respect she's got from the locker room. And that nobody will suspect her of doing this, which makes her a very likely suspect. Because to me, Zoey Stark is what they call a red herring. So I don't know, y'all know anything about murder mysteries. There's someone called a red herring. This is the most obvious suspect, right? This is the obvious suspect, but it's the one that least likely did it. You know what I mean? It's the one that people think did it, but it turns out that this person didn't do it. Do you know what I mean? And I think the obvious factor, and a lot of you guys talked about it this past week, the obvious factor is what keeps me from thinking it was Zoey Stark. Now, at first, when I did my video last week, I thought it was Zoey Stark. But then I started to think more about it, and I was like, nah, I don't think it was Zoey Stark, bro. Especially when the Rumble arrived, and I was like, damn, she probably stole Nikkita Lyons' spot. But then when I saw Indi Hartwell in the match, I'm like, wait a minute. Indi Hartwell, who was just in the parking lot? Don't she got something to gain from that being in that spot at the Rumble, right? So I'm like, Indi Hartwell got something to gain from this. So I was like, we gotta keep an eye out. Gotta keep an eye out on her, bro. We gotta keep an eye out on her. So I definitely started thinking that this was a possibility, bro. Definitely a possibility. Definitely a possibility that it was Indi Hartwell, bro. Now, other suspects. So Ruca herself. So Ruca. Now, before I wrap up with Indi Hartwell, remember Indi Hartwell was right there to help Nikkita Lyons. If Nikkita never saw her attack her, she's right in the scene, right? She's right in the scene. Enough time to attack her and stuff like that. Now, so Ruca could be someone that Indi hired to attack her. But then it's kind of a wild plot because now you got somebody who's also been not looked at as a heel since she's been on the roster, the NXT roster. Why would she be doing this for Indi unless they both been plotting the whole time that they were going to do something like this? I don't know. Maybe Indi paid her a good amount of money to attack her. I don't know. Very least likely suspect is Sol Ruca, but definitely still a possibility. Another suspect, Tiffany Stratton, someone that Indi was just fighting. Now, Tiffany Stratton, unless she had an encounter with Nikkita Lyons, she didn't have anything to gain from being in the Rumble. But, we just consider Tiffany Stratton because she is a heel. But she also should be happy because she won. Now, what makes me think Indi did it too, because she just lost against Tiffany earlier tonight. Maybe she's frustrated, pissed her off, heard about Nikkita Lyons getting the spot, and attacked her, right? But like I said, with Tiffany Stratton, I think it's very unlikely as well. But you definitely got to keep her on your list. Another suspect, Lyra Valkyria, who was right there with, Nikkita Lyons and Indi Hartwell. But I also feel like this one is unlikely just because of the fact that Lyra has a bunch of business to settle with Cora Jade, including a match next week. It'd be very, very hard for me to believe that based on this, why in the hell would... It just doesn't make any sense to me why Lyra would do it. She's a new kid on the block. And she's dealing with Cora Jade. Like, I could not believe if it was Lyra Valkyria. She seems to be already showing a baby face. She's gaining some respect in the locker room, except from the heels. But I think Lyra didn't do it. I think she's more concentrated on Cora. And then we got to think about Cora, too. Cora's very concentrated on Lyra Valkyria. But Cora's still a likely suspect to me just due to the fact of two things. So I don't know if y'all remember in the beginning of that interview with Cora Jade and Mackenzie Mitchell, remember when Cora was actually looking at her stick and she dropped it, she placed it on the wall like she had just used it, bro? That made me start to think it was Cora Jade. Now, a lot of people thinking about the scenario, how it couldn't be Cora Jade because she was in the interview and it looked like Nikkita just got attacked. But we don't know when Nikkita got attacked. It could have been 3 to 5 minutes ago. The WWE Performance Center is not big like a big NBA or NHL arena or college arena, bro. It's not a big place. Like, it's not where it's going to take you about 5 to 10 minutes to get from end to end, right? To get from this side of the arena to the other side of the arena. It's not going to take you that long. I don't know exactly where the locker room is set up, but it's probably close to the parking lot. So Cora could have ran and been right back. If this happened like 3 to 5 minutes before, she could have ran, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I didn't see any sweat on Cora Jade. Didn't look like she was out of breath. But Cora could have also always had hired somebody to do it as well. But I'm struggling seeing the motivation because Cora Jade was not in the Rumble. She's busy with Lyra Valkyria, and what motivation does she have to come after Nikkita, even though she is the resident mean girl, and she's going to attack a lot of people? Just doesn't make any sense. So when you look at the suspect list, that's my early suspect list for now. If something develops later in the show, I'll go over it later. But that's my early suspect list for now. I need to end this video. So before I wrap it up, let me know your thoughts. I'll be back to wrap it up. Okay, you guys, make sure y'all going ahead and hit the like button, comment, and share the video. Also, make sure you guys also donate to the channel by hitting the thanks button below, or you can hit up the Cash App, $SAC Exchange, to send any donation to the Cash App. Here are the top donators, and you can fit yourself in this list at any time if you donate at least $2 or more. Thank you. So yeah, interesting situation, right, with the suspect list. Now, remember, voting that poll, guys, that I got on the channel. We're going to have a lot of these until the mystery is solved. I wanted to just keep it between Zoey and Indi in this one just because of the fact I'm trying to figure out who you guys think is a likely suspect. I am definitely taking Zoey off my suspect list. But it's one of those situations until, guilty until proven innocent type thing. But I think her point about her bragging it really made a difference, and that's what's really leading me to believe that she did not do this. This wasn't her work. I think this is definitely someone a secret, maybe anonymous user. Another person that people thought about was B. Priestley's character, Blair Davenport. That could definitely be one. Blair Davenport, somebody new that's not even on the NXT roster could have did it. So we will see. We will see, but I'm going to update y'all, man. Hope y'all enjoyed this video. Thank y'all for watching. After News to Light.